Have you ever come home only to find something you loved completely gone? That was me, standing frozen in my front yard, staring at nothing but a stump where my beautiful maple tree once stood. And the person behind it? None other than Karen, the president of our HOA. But what she didn't know was, by cutting down my tree, she planted the seeds of her own downfall. That maple tree wasn't just a plant. My father had planted it when we moved into the house. I grew up climbing its branches, reading beneath its shade, and every fall it painted my yard in gold and orange. It was family. But Karen always hated it. She claimed the leaves were messy, that the branches shadowed the sidewalk, and even insisted the roots might cause cracks one day. None of it was true. Everyone else loved the tree except her. One afternoon, I pulled into my driveway and froze. The air smelled like sawdust. My tree was gone, cut down without warning. Just a stump remained. Karen stood nearby, arms crossed, a smug smile on her face. She said, "Don't thank me all at once." That tree was a hazard. The HOA approved its removal, except there had been no vote, no approval, just her. I felt powerless, but only for a moment, because the more I thought about it, the more I realized, if Karen thought she could control my yard, she had another thing coming. I started digging, not into soil, but into the law. And I discovered something Karen never expected. In my state, certain trees and certified wildlife habitats are protected by law. Once planted and registered, nobody, not even the HOA, could touch them. So I bought a young oak tree, one of the most protected species around. I planted it right where my maple once stood. Around it, I built a pollinator garden with flowers and butterflies, and then had it officially certified as a wildlife habitat. The next week, Karen stormed into my yard. "You can't just plant that," she snapped. I smiled and handed her the certification papers. "Actually, I can, and you can't touch it." The look on her face was priceless. Soon, neighbors started loving my new garden. Kids played with the butterflies. Families admired the oak, and people began siding against Karen. When they learned she cut down my maple without a real HOA vote, the board called a meeting, and this time the vote was unanimous. Karen was removed as president. Now my oak tree grows stronger every day. My yard is more beautiful than ever, and Karen, she's just another neighbor with no power. So yes, Karen cut down my maple tree, but I planted something she could never touch, and something that will outlast us both. If you enjoyed this story of sweet HOA revenge, hit that like button. Share this with a friend who's had a run-in with a Karen,